It's very glad to be here, and thanks again for having me. Used to be a teacher, used to be a professor, and now I took my turn to do something else totally different. I like to, need to be honest to you. When I got invited to speak in these sessions, I can't really make up my mind what kind of topic that I would like to speak. So I list it all. Money and meaning, you make money, and at the same time you need to make sure. As lucky as you are, as a privileged student as you are, you need to create meaning to the society. I would like to talk about our life is full of WTF moments. What the fuck moments? I'm sorry, I just speak it out. I just want to make sure you understand the context. But we are not that close, so I'm not going to share this secret to you. Winter is coming. I could understand that. But this winter is not about, the Night King come to take the world. It's also about mass destructions that we are actually be part, get expedited to it. We need to be well aware. And also, in terms of the startup term, as the disruptors are soon to be disrupted. I want you to take a look. There are a whole lot of things. If you talk about disruptors, you probably think about those common names like the sharing economy, ride-hailing apps, and so forth. You are entering the Sasin journey as an MBA student, as an executive MBA student. I was once, I have never learned or attended any MBA, which I would love to do so, but maybe too late now. But anyhow, what I know, I completed PhD some years ago, 2002, that was a long time ago, you might think. But it's only 5 years after that, what I learned in my dissertations turned out to be completely outdated. Automation come about, I have a chance to learn about AI, machine learning back then, but they're very basic. But then it's just only, 15 years in my career, whatever I learned is completely outdated. So I need to relearn again, when I'm in my prime, it's 45 right now. So basically you and I are exactly in the same spot, at the beginning of the new learning for the next decade. Why I'm talking about sharing economy as a grand example of disruptors soon to be disrupted? Because the world has shifted. The economic has shifted to something like, you can't buy property anymore because things are so expensive. Believe it or not, I am 45 years old, I'm still living in my parents' house. Anyone still living in your parents' house? Raise your hands, proudly, come on. When I was in high school in the United States, my friend lived home at 18. And I'm now back in Bangkok. I'm still staying in my parents' home, proudly, because it's a Thai structure and so forth. But that made me look good. But in reality, because the property out there is too expensive for me, for my brothers to afford the way that we want it to be. So that will become, when I was young, I lived in the Muban village. Some along the way, we lived in condo. So along the way, even a condo, only 20 square meters, is too expensive. We cannot afford it. So we say that this ownership will be the new normal, because not just because we don't want to own anything. Most of us are commitment phobia. Are you? I'm a bit. So then sharing is the norm. But owning, if you get to own something, is become the luxury. We get to share a lot of stuff. Something as common as you can see, the car, the condo, the accommodations, your computer and all this stuff. But soon in the future, everything could be shared. But think about it. The way we are sharing stuff today is still it's a very centralized system. You have someone such as Grab, Uber, Airbnb acting as the middleman, as a clearinghouse for the quality and the payment. Imagine soon enough that everybody can connect, peers to peers, just like we've been mentioned earlier on this session today, that you can actually transfer the values, physical values, and also the virtual values, peers to peer, without, you don't need to go through those middlemen, or per se, it's not quite disruptive enough, such as Airbnb and all other stuff. So keep in mind, whoever that you think is a disruptors now, if they don't change, they're soon to be disrupted. You probably have heard of this brand before, of course, Uber, Ola, Grab, DT. All these have one common shareholders, which is the SoftBank. Do they want to be the godfather of ride sharing? I guess not. But the SoftBank wants to hold data all around the world to invent something, autonomous car, for instance. So take a look, keep your eyes open. If you have something as your idol, as the business and you would like to go, follow the footstep, make sure you pick it right. Because whatever you see the success here, it will be gone soon enough before you graduate from Sasin journey. And the reason why I say that, there are a lot of stuff going on. Part of my research, not just only looking at the innovations out there, how the business changed, but think that something like way, as a fundamental, is how we are living in these social structures. I think as of now, they actually have more generations than this, but these are the key players from today to the next 40 years. We have baby boomers. Don't need to raise your hand. It's fine. I am I'm the Gen X. Most of you, I believe, by looking at your, using my facial recognition ability, I believe you're in around Gen Y. Yeah, maybe. See the things we are talking about today, and we think today is full of disruption. Things change drastically. How am I going to survive? But believe it or not, the speed of disruption today and the future, time in the future, it would not be any slower. We are living in the slowest disruption rate. The reason is this. Today we have baby boomers who actually built everything all around us, including law and regulations. We have Gen X like me, as a protege of baby boomer, anything I do, I want to be professional. My creativity is about this slim. I have Gen Y as an explorer. I want to do something different, but cannot. Because X and Y, you and I, are still in battle that you're not professional enough, you're not good enough. This is what we think, which is all wrong. What I would like you to take a look at this. Right now, all the disruption are stuck with the current regulation, which most of them has been developed or launched 20, 30, 50, 60, 70 years ago. So whatever disruptions we have today, what we hope for, still have the limit of the current laws. Why? Because the policymakers is still to be the generation that they're not the risk seeker, it's more like the risk averse. Not that the older generation is not good enough or not innovative enough, but you need to understand them that because they build things from the ground up. They want to make sure that you guys are safe. I want you to look at in the next 10 years. This is the year that we're going to have all 5 generations from baby boomers, Gen X, Y, Z, and Alpha are in the same workplace. How fun is it going to be? How fun is it going to be? I can't imagine. My Gen Alpha is going to reach 22 by then in the next 10 years. So this is what you need to prepare for. If you are the Gen X and so sick of me as a Gen, you are the Gen Y, so sick of me as a Gen X, you see, soon enough. But what I would like to see, the true disruptor is right there as a Gen Z. They're going to grow up to be someone as a true disruptors. And we talk about something beyond what we see right now. We talked about the man-machine is the norm. We talked about the life beyond the planet Earth. So this is what I want you to look at. Something that I'd like to share with you is, when we talk about a startup, is some myth or some misunderstanding that a successful startup likely to be young, as in 20s. But the research say right now that the average age of successful startup founders is 45. So basically, I'm in my prime. The thing is, this 45 years old and up, well, the ability in terms of processing the memory is still okay. At the same time, they have the experience to make the right decisions. And at the same time, this is what I want to share you about. If we look at the creativity test, I'm talking about the creativities, everybody's here talking about creativities is a key ingredients. This is creativity test from NASA. they need to test, when they take a test, NASA wants creativity so much because they want to build something never happened before, something that you can lift out of space, doesn't exist in the planet Earth. The test at 5 years old, 98% pass the test. When the 10 years old pass through the school system, down to 30%. 15 years old, only 12. Take a guess. How many percentage they're going to pass NASA creativity test? Speaking about us as adults, is 2%. So this is the things that you need to nurture. Me, myself, has also co-founded the school in Thailand, IKEA Thailand, where we try to build this, which is support the idea of Dr. Panat just a minute ago. We need to promote the STEAM. We need to build from the ground up. These kids are being trained to solve the problem that doesn't exist today. You see the gap as a sandwich, where baby boomer, Gen X like me, would not die anytime soon. We're going to live long and we'll get retired. And we have these new kids being trained to be something else, to do something else, not going through the regular education program or any protocol that you have had before. So you guys are in the sandwich economy. So you better make it right. So if you don't know about the futures, I always say if you can't invent the future yourself, follow the one that will. So I have a couple lists before I end my presentation. I often always look up to Alphabet. They acquire, they build a lot of stuff that we use and they know it or not knowing it. Even though his company is a big crash right now, but I think he's still a genius. This is another guy I would like you to follow on, the SoftBank Vision Fund. Whatever this guy touches on becomes the future. Another person, which is Professor Kaku, Physics of the Future. If you read this book, he talks about the future, not because the imagination, it's all about everything has been proven by the physics law. So these are the guys that you might want to follow. I would like to end this presentation just to tell you something. You see, you challenge in the future as a sandwich economy from the older and the younger gen. You see the world are actually going to explode anytime soon, 44 degrees outside. We are in here freezing cold. I have to wear a suit because it's too cold in here. I think it's funny, it's so wrong. When you do the business, please remember, our world is full of zero-sum games. When you gain something, someone will lose something. We are sitting here nice and cool. Someone out there will suffer from the air compressor out there. When you do the business, you need to balance the act. You can't optimize the profit and leave the world, behind. And that's the whole reason why I am doing the research right now, is to explore the life outside the planet Earth. Because I have the guts, maybe just a little bit, that my daughter will not be able to live in this earth in the next 50 years. Imagine that. This chart is a powerful chart from The Economist from New York, out 2 years ago, but I think this is the thing that I don't want you to miss. You can search more, call as a, nickname is the elephant chart. But the cheese chart saying that in the past 20 years, the rich gets richer. The one right here on the right-hand side, the rich in the rich country gets so much richer. Right here on the left-hand side, the poor in the poorest country gets poorer. So you see the gap in this society, not just in our country, but it's in all around the world. It's become very, very scary as of now. And it's your job as a new leaders. My apology if you cannot read this. This is the conclusion of the research that I had some years ago. Due to this inequality, when you can access opportunity, you'll be able to access more and more opportunities. The thing is, when I classify into timelines, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, to 40 years from now, and break it down to fortunate, which is, I believe this is us, in between, and underprivileged. The most scary thing is, what I found within these 10 years, if those unprivileged people cannot move up to in between in the next 10 years and cannot move up to the privilege in the next 20 years, their life will be doomed. And we talk about something in a separate country, separate segments. We talked about something that we cannot collide as a society anymore. And this is the worst case scenario that we see. So it's your responsibility as a business leaders, and again, the privileged Sasin students. This is your responsibility and no one else. I would like to end with, I like this movie so much. I like to end with a couple quotes. Lord Baelish died last season, last episode, just a few minutes before the season ends. He said in the season 1, chaos isn't a pit, it's actually a ladder. In his context was bad, but our context is here. Since you know chaotic situation, crisis is going to happen. It's going to be your opportunity to be the true leaders and come up and change the course of the world. And it's your job. I like the MacGyver guys, but since I know that Ajahn Pan At, Long as here, so I put the old version of 1985 on the right, on the left, and also the current version, here. If you do something as a student or the business, I love MacGyver movies so much when I was 10 years old. This guy survived in any situation scenarios, but if you look into it, he think fast, act fast, and he was able to work on solution, come up with a solution with a very limited resource. And this is our generation. We need to come up with a clever solution with a very limited resource. And in just a nick of time, it can change your life. Love the movie, I'm a movie lover. Next, I believe that no one can achieve great things by doing the minimum. If you are work-life balance kind of excuse, or sabai kind of excuse, I don't think it's going to happen. You need to work hard towards it. Work with yourself, work with your friends, work with the communities. Everybody suggests each book. I kind of gave up on some bad. I always end my presentation with a book that I love. 2 years pass by, you probably see, well, why do I see the same book? The Rise of Robots there. Because sometimes when you read the book, not the textbook, you can just read anytime you want. Just grab and you go to the bathroom or so these are the books that I love so much, and I always say what you are is what you read. What you read is what you are, basically. You are what you read. And this, reader, you will be a great leader. So these are the books I would like to recommend if you want to go on a journey of Sasin, and so become a successful entrepreneurs or successful executives in the companies. Could be something that you might want to make a good list of your books today. What shaped you and what you thought you'd be. Well, thank you so much and good luck to you all.